defend their Calder Cup title.
Well, they are. You know what? The energy was great today. It's been one heck of a year. You know, we had a slow start there the first half of the season, and second half was outstanding. And I thought the growth of our team was real solid. And you look at the guys that were here last year, the 13 players. They're focused. You know, today's practice, we had 2 days off, and I like how sharp we were today. So it's going to be a good test against Rockford, and we're looking forward to that first game on Friday night.
What changed from mid-season on that really got you guys going?
Well, you know, we had a lot of injuries early on. A lot of guys called up, and in the group of guys we had, with some guys fluctuating from the ECHL, the American League, and you know, so just kind of finding that identity. I think once we found our identity around Christmas time, just learning how to battle, how to compete, and we kind of got back. And then the second, our goaltending was outstanding in the second half. I thought that was a huge change. And there's probably a few games in the first half we didn't win in overtime. We probably had empty nets to score, and we started winning some of those games in the second half. I think we won 2 shootouts and a couple more overtime. So it all balances out in the end. But just like the focus of our team, and I think you really saw the veteran leadership step up the second half.
The fact that you guys were on the bubble for so much of the season up until maybe the last few weeks, how did that get you ready for coming to the playoffs when every game was kind of a do-or-die situation?
Well, one thing we talked about early in the season, we faced a lot of adversity, you know, losing Radek Faksa, guys getting called up, losing close games in overtime, and you know, we have a segment board in our dressing room. If we get 10-plus segments out of every eight games, we're probably going to make the playoffs. We had 2 segments in there. We had 5 and 6 points, and that was really the difference of sitting on that 8th spot or getting into the playoffs. And I really thought that you know, we took that adversity, we learned from it the second half, and you know, the 4-game set against Milwaukee kind of propelled us, or against them. You know, the 4 wins against Chicago was the difference of probably making the playoffs. Those are huge points, but just the focus and dedication of the guys the second half is what you want to see moving forward, and hopefully we're peaking at the right time.
Considering the odd playoff format that sends the team with the best record, or that keeps the team with the best record on the road, and you guys get to stay at home for the first 2 games, how crucial does that make these first 2 games?
Well, if you look at every team that's in the playoffs, every team's got 20-plus road wins, so I don't think it really makes a difference. But for us, we feel pretty confident going on the road. So our home record's been pretty solid all year. I know it was great last year, and it's been good this year. And so if we can get 1 or 2 wins early on in the series and go into Rockford, I know we didn't win 2 games there, but they kind of caught us at the end of road trips. But it's a tough building to play in. So for us, we want to try and establish an early lead in the series at home. And then you look at our road record, the second half has been solid. And so we feel confident going on the road for the 2-3 set.
You mentioned not beating those guys. What's the biggest thing that has to change against them to get wins?
Well, you know what? That team there is just they're solid defensively. And, you know, we're an offensive hockey club, so we're going to have to get pucks to the net. We're going to have to go to the hard areas. They're a big physical club that likes to play a kind of a intimidating brand of hockey. They're looking for scrums after the whistles, and they're a good club. They're well coached. They defend well. They got some scoring. They've got depth. They've got great veteran leadership, and they've had solid goaltending all year. So it's going to be a great matchup, and obviously it's a 4 or 5 seed. I think they finished off at 99 points. We finished off at 94, and you know, you look at the difference of the 4 games we played them. We played them hard here. We lost 1 in overtime, and I think we let a 3-2 lead slip in the second game. But down in their building, I don't think they've seen our full lineup yet, so hopefully that plays into our hand here moving forward.
Anything mentally that goes into that where, you know, we haven't beaten them this year? Anything with your guys that you think?
Well, playoffs are a different season. The regular season's finished now, and I've been a part of playoff teams before where you haven't beaten a team in the regular season and you end up beating them in the playoffs. So for us, it's a mindset moving forward, and just get prepared for the first game. We know there's going to be peaks and valleys in the game. We know they're a good hockey club. We know we're going to have to be composed. We're going to have to play up to our potential, and again, we're going to have great goaltending, great special teams, and play to our strengths. And that's the same thing Rockford's going to do. They're going to play to their strengths, and I think it's going to make for a great series.
Any thoughts on who starts in goal?
We'll make that decision on Thursday. Yeah.
Coach, you talked about they haven't seen the full lineup quite yet. You guys have gotten some additions from Dallas, some guys from juniors. Just talk about what you guys are going to be able to bring with that lineup that Rockford hasn't seen yet.
Well, the big thing for us, we really haven't had any depth playing against them, either up front or in the back end. And you know, right now we're practicing with 10 defensemen, so we can plug anybody in we want, and everybody that's played has played very well. And you know, if we need a physical game, we can put Scott Valentine in. If we need a puck-moving game, we can put Matty Mangine in. But you know, you look up front, the additions of Jason Dickinson. We saw him this weekend. He's a special player and can add some depth to our hockey club. You look at the addition of Devon Shore. You know, having him down the stretch for the last month was huge. You know, with Richie and Mackenzie up. Now they're back. Just gives you 4 lines you can play solidly and allows you to run your bench a little bit harder if you need to in certain points of the game.
Derek Laxdal closer to being a player this weekend?
Yeah, he's skating right now. We didn't play him this weekend here, so we feel that we'll see how he does tomorrow and Thursday. But right now we think that he'll be a player Friday. So again, adds more depth there. Now you can bump guys down in a lineup and create a deeper lineup.
Did you see enough out of Backman to possibly give him a chance in the playoffs?
Well, the big thing about Bachman is we saw him play Saturday night, played very well. You saw him on the power play, moves the puck very well. He's on his toes. He's a headsy defenseman. He's not shy. And obviously he's got that playoff experience last year with Grand Rapids. I think he played 10 games at 6 points. So moving forward, he'll be a part of our back end. And we've got some tough choices, but we know going into playoffs that if you can get by the first series, it's a long road, and everybody's going to get a chance to play at one point in time.
How much do you lean on the guys who were here last year to communicate that message of get past that first round, you get a chance to play?
Well, the big thing for that is just I don't think we're trying to focus on past the first round. We're focused on Friday night. But as the series goes along and as coaches are talking in between periods and veteran leadership's talking in between periods, there's subtle messages sent about that. Everybody's going to have to chip in. Everybody's going to have to be a part of it. And some guys may not play. That's just the way it is. But it's the experience of going through it that's going to help these guys further their careers.
Building on that a little bit, is there a different mindset going in as the defending Calder Cup champs? Any more pressure or anything like that?
You know what? Last year's last year. You know what? At the end of the day, we have to defend our home ice here on Friday night, and we have to try and get a win here. Last thing we don't want to do is go back into Rockford down 0-2 because they're very good at home. So moving forward here, all our focus is on Friday night. Once you get past Friday night, you move on to Saturday night and just take it day by day. Because if you focus on something else you can't control, then you're going to have issues.
And also, it seems like in hockey, the minor leagues are treated differently than other minor league sports where the playoffs are a big deal. Dallas sending down players for the Calder Cup. How big of a deal is the Calder Cup compared to other maybe minor league titles?
Well, a great example. You look at for any NHL team or any pro team, if you can get your prospects playing in the playoffs, they kind of get that atmosphere. They get that experience of playing in those high tempo, those high quality games. And if you look at the guys that played last year, you look at Mackenzie, you look at Richie, you look at Jokapaka and Nemeth. All those guys were part of the Calder Cup team, and they're playing in the National Hockey League this year. So when they can send players down, that just like Richie and Mackenzie, they're getting a little bit more experience. They're adding to the layer of the core, right? They're getting another shot at the playoffs. And a guy like Patrick Nemeth, who missed most of the year, another chance for him to continue playing and developing and getting ready for Dallas next year. So it's good to see the prospects playing, and that's exactly what the NHL teams. If you look at most of the NHL teams, they set a lot of guys down at the deadline, trade deadline. So when their playoff rosters are set, these guys get a chance to play.
Limiting Rockford's a team that fires the puck a lot. Limiting the amount of shots they get, is that a high priority for you guys?
Yeah, it is. You know what? They're a big, aggressive, physical team that puts a lot of pucks on net, and they crash the net hard. So what does that mean for us? We've got to do a great job of protecting our goaltenders. We have to do a great job of limiting the shots on net. And again, that starts in the offensive zone. That starts with managing pucks, getting pucks deep, being positionally sound, being on the right side of the puck offensively. So it all plays in, and I think that's one thing we've gotten better the second half of the season, and it's been a big part of our making the playoffs.
Are you going to grow a playoff beard, Coach, or do you got another playoff tradition that you follow?
Well, you know what? I'm a big believer the beards are for the players. They play the game, coaches coach. And, my wife doesn't like the beard anyway, so I won't grow it.
It's your first year coaching in the AHL. How would you sum up the experience so far?
You know what? It's for me, it's like being in the playoffs anywhere else. You know what? You have to prep your team. You have to give them the best advantage they can to win a game, to win the series. And the big thing from the coaching standpoint is you have to be calm. You know what? They feed off you as a coach. You're their leader. And if you're in a panicky mode and you're kind of all over the map, your team's going to be all over the map. So it doesn't matter if it's in the ECHL or Western Hockey League or Canadian Major Junior or a Memorial Cup game. You know, at the end of the day, your players feed off you. So your mood or your staff's mood really has to set the tone and let the players just go out and experience and have fun. And you know what? At the end of the day, it comes down to them. This is the best time of year to be playing hockey. You know, there's other teams that aren't in the playoffs right now. These guys get a chance to continue their season, and starts on Friday night.